Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel, and thank you for joining. Now, you may see on the screen here, I said my channel, and you're looking at Rookie Coach. You're gonna say, what's going on here? Have I changed channels? Just calm it down. Okay, now today we're promoting the Rookie Coach. We're gonna get him to 1,000 subscribers. We need your help. Okay, now we're gonna get you to all subscribe for us, please, so we can get to 1,000. Now, before we start the program, we have to introduce our tight asses, because today we've got a panel of tight asses. Now, our first tight ass we're going to introduce is the Freo Tragic. Now, Freo Tragic at the moment is that tight that his internet is dial-up. Okay, we couldn't afford the expensive stuff, so we're going for the dial-up for the internet for Freo Tragic. So sometimes when he cuts out, don't panic. Okay, he's still there, he's still alive, still breathing, but he's on dial-up, so he may eventually be chatting to us soon. So we're going to leave him on all for the whole show, but he may cross. You might not hear his voice once every 2 minutes. So we're going to bring him back on again. Now, just underneath Freo Tragic, there he is alive. So he just talked there. Now, underneath, and he's a good-looking young man, the Freo Tragic. Now, underneath the Freo Tragic, we have the Rookie Coach. Now, the Rookie Coach, he's that tight that when he goes to the fish and chip shop, he only orders one chip. Okay, that's all. He doesn't order nothing else because and he asks for extra salt because it's for free. So the Rookie Coach has joined us, and he's a very tight young man. So we're going to try to get some bargain deals from the Rookie Coach today as well. And plus, we're promoting him. And if you hear his voice, it's one of those radio DJ voices. So don't panic. You're not Triple M. No, it's still the Scott Farber show. But Triple M has joined us today with the Rookie Coach. And just underneath the Rookie Coach, by popular demand, okay, because we had a lot of requests that requested the Supercoach potato back on, because last week he killed it, and I had over 2,000 emails requesting that the Supercoach potato comes back on. And he's also very tight, the Supercoach potato, because when he goes to a pub, he only orders water because things are tough. So he orders the water when he goes to the pubs. But here is our panel. So welcome, Freo Tragic. Okay, well, he's on dial-up, so we're going to wait for Tragic in a minute. So welcome, the Rookie Coach.
Welcome. This is going to be a really interesting stream. I'm excited to talk about the cheapies and the reduced section at NQR.
Yes, and welcome to our show once again. He joined us last week, and welcome again, the Supercoach Potato.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Yes,
now,
it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Now, before we start off, we've got a couple of questions. We got the Supercoach Pro back on. He goes, "Oh my God, coming down. Here we are. Hello, Tommy Stewart." Now, Tommy Stewart's. Let's discuss Tommy Stewart's. Now, I'm going to ask the Rookie Coach to go first on this one. And when we call him the Rookie Coach, he's actually not a Rookie Coach, okay? He's actually ranked better than me. He's actually ranked better than a lot of us. So even though it says Rookie Coach, he's actually a professional. He's under disguise. He's actually acting like a rookie, but he's just a humble man. That's why he calls himself the Rookie Coach. So what do we think of Tommy Stewart, young man?
Well, the doppelganger himself, Tommy Stewart, we've seen what he can do. He's a little bit of royalty for Supercoach, but he's getting old. He's an old man now, a bit of a grandpa. He's had the injury, the PCL injury that put him out. They've rested him. He's at a cheap price now, and he's got a West Coast matchup this week, which I think is why a lot of people are looking towards him for that nice run home. The issue is, can you trust the body? And I think the price might be right, especially for the tight asses that we are, that need some decent plays with a decent fixture. I think he's a pretty solid pick. I honestly, he's probably the best pick for the cash that you have available, in my opinion. Just hoping, he doesn't fall apart.
Yes, I totally agree. And Freo Tragic, what do you think of Tommy Stewart's? Okay, well, unfortunately, we've got the dial-up for Freo. He's back. So it doesn't matter. We'll talk to Freo Tragic soon. To just calm it down, everybody.
He doesn't. Freo doesn't like Tommy Stewart. He doesn't like Tommy Stewart. He's saying nothing.
No, he doesn't like Tommy Stewart. He's not talking about Tommy Stewart right now. But the super catch potato. What are your thoughts on Tommy Stewart?
Oh, jeez. I've got him in draft. I understand the pain.
For
He's
me,
been pretty
no.
tough owning. Oh, no.
Okay. Well, Freo Tragic has said no. It's a different no from the Freo Tragic. With the breaking news just coming down, everybody. So Freo Tragic has said no to the Tommy Stewart. But for you again, sorry, we cut you off there. What was your answer for that? The super catch potato. What do you think?
Oh, look, the price is pretty good, isn't it? That's
Yeah,
that's
I'm
what
gonna
I'm
I'm gonna
interested
pick
in.
him. Yeah, I'm gonna pick him because he's gonna break down. Okay, fair enough. I mean, it's a gamble. He's 430K. Let's say you bring in a rookie with a pick. Let's say you bring in Gray. You pay for Gray. He plays one game or two games, gets dropped. You wasted a trade. So why not waste a trade on Tommy Stewart? I waste trades every week anyway. So if Stewart goes from 430, let's say to 510, 520, then you can maybe trade him out to a better primo. He still makes 100K. I think he'll be a keeper if he can hold his body. It's a matter of if he doesn't break down. That's how I see it with Tom Stewart.
What
Now
about those
let's go.
two scores of 60s though against Hawthorn, Carlton?
I
Were they
think one of them
injury
he was injured.
affected?
Yeah, one of them was injury affected, and the other one he was tagged, and he was actually both of them were injury affected.
He
Also,
still
I looked
played
at
the
his
full
scores
game
last.
out.
Yeah, but he didn't really play. He played on he was walking with his hands. Okay, his legs weren't working, so he used his hands to walk. I don't think if you saw his game last week, all right, that's a true reflection of Tom Stewart. He's going to have a couple of kick-ins. That they switch play a lot. When the opposition teams kick the ball into their forward line, they're going to be, because they got weaker opponents now. They got a good draw, which means that they're going to have a lot of rush kicks, and Tom Stewart loves those rush kicks. If we saw O'Sullivan, was it O'Sullivan, the rookie for Geelong? What's his
The
name?
rookie.
Yeah, Sullivan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was scoring 90s, having without kick-ins at one stage. So if he can score 90s, Tom Stewart's going to easily score 90s to 100. So
A lot of kick-ins against the Dogs. Shared with Humphreys, Guthrie, and Stewart. But I agree. If Stewart plays, he's going to take the kick-ins. The role's there. He looked, I mean, in the last quarter, just that mark he took to help them win the game, if you remember, to me, that didn't look like he was worried about the injury that he had. That was enough to probably say, yep, I'm taking the risk. He's back to his best.
Yeah.
I hope he is.
And I saw an article today. Apparently, he mentioned that he doesn't have that injury anymore. He feels much better. He's running better. So he's feeling better. It's positive news anyway. So I think Tommy Stewart should be okay for four. If he was 520K, I'd say forget. I'm not interested. I'd rather go for somebody else. Yeah. But at 429K, when we're tight asses, none of us got money. I mean, Freo Tragic can't even afford internet right now. Things are tough right now. We spend all our money on our players. So I think I would splash the cash on Stewart. He's my number one pick this week, actually. Out of all the tight ass players, he's actually my favourites. Let's see if there's any other questions now. Yeah, there's a lot of good favourites, and I've got a heap of them coming up to talk about today. Now, I've got a question here from Ethan Sachs, and he's asked me, your thoughts are going ultra tight ass this week and doing Reed, Hall, and Carroll to Stewart, Caldwell, and Gray. Well, let's talk about Caldwell now, okay? Does anyone? I mean, being an Essendon supporter, I think actually, who do you support? Rookie, who do you support?
I'm a Cats man, so
you're a Cats. Well, we should ask you more about Tom Stewart. Why did I do all the talk when you were the Cats man? I can't believe this. Anyway, the Super Catch Potato and Caldwell, they're good friends. So let's ask the Super Catch Potato about Caldwell.
Yeah, I mean, very interesting pick. The role is great. I love watching him play. He's a clutch player as well. He might get you that 25-point goal in the last quarter if we are in the game and win it off his boot again. But he's going to get CBAs. He's going to be contested. He's going to tackle. There are concerns about durability, but he played all last year without missing a game. Year before that, I think he only missed 2 games at the end of the season. So he can put it together, which is good. But my concern, I think he averaged 100 after the buys last week. If you're really going to take up that mid spot and he averages 100, you're still going to be about 15 points behind those sort of top mids. That's my concern.
Okay.
Has it just dropped out?
Yeah, no, we got you on. Can you hear us?
Oh, yep, I can hear you. Yep.
Okay, we just lost your face. Okay, we don't have an image of the Supercoach potato anymore. I mean, things are tight right now, so we're cutting the costs on our live stream. Costs here. And before we lose our rookie coach is back on, Supercoach is back. Before we lose the rookie coach, something. And what are your thoughts? Actually, can before we start that, Freo, can you hear us? Okay, now Freo's stuck there, still on the dial-up. Okay, so let's go back to the rookie now. Rookie coach, what do you think? Your thoughts on, or have you even considered Caldwell at all?
Definitely have considered him. We know what sort of caliber player he is. There's also the threat of Parrish, which again, if he strings it together, maybe there's a little bit of influence that can maybe steal some points there. But again, at this sort of price range where you can get Cardwell, I don't think it's enough to scare you off the pick just because we are playing the cash game. Like we all have to in some way or form, whether it is grabbing a Stewart and Cardwell or even just one of these players and any of the players that we talk about tonight. It's less threatening and less scary because we're not having to pay the $550 for them and then worry about the threats. So if it suits your buy structure and he helps you through the majority of the buys and he goes for a ton at best, I think that's a perfect trade in at that price. I think it's just what's Brad Scott going to do? That's my only concern is I don't like the chaos that Brad's brought to the team, especially with that rookie chaos, but you can't go wrong. I honestly think between Stewart and Cardwell, you can't really go wrong.
I still think Stewart, better chance to be a keeper as a defender if he went at 95 even or 98, whereas Caldwell at 100 or 105 is still going to be pretty far behind. But, I mean, he was averaging 110 the first 3 games this year. Hawthorn, Adelaide, pretty big scores, not your normal Eagles or Richmond, or North, easy matchups as well. So he can do it against anyone. But, I'd be leaning over to Stewart, I think.
Yeah, I definitely put Stewart as the pick above Caldwell.
Now, I did a bit of research on because it was doing my head in right now, and we're talking about Caldwell now. I did some research, and last night I looked up contested possessions because there's a little. Actually, let me share it with you guys. Let me find. Actually, I'll share it later. But there's a contested possession count, and when he gets over 11 contested possessions a game, which is what I consider my threshold for a good midfielder, he averages 115. And he's done it 10 times since last year. I mean, he's had half forward roles. He's had different roles. But once he gets that midfield role, he does go 115, 110 around that area. And he did that in round 1, round 2, and last week. And also with Zach Merritt now playing on the outside, because Zach Merritt is not the player that goes on the inside. And even though he takes CBAs, he gets the ball fed to him now, whereas last year, he was the one that was tackling and going in for that hard ball. Now he's the receiver. So they're playing him as a quarterback. So I find that with Caldwell, he's that player that gets that hard ball and the tackle and all that kind of stuff. So he's actually quite decent. So I'm actually you can actually wait on him for a week because his break-even's high still. So you can actually get him next week. You don't have to get him this week. And I'm considering him big time. Now, do we have is Freo back? Let's check our sound. Freo, are you back? Okay, the dial-up is still not happening. Let's go to another question.
I was here, yes. Hello.
Oh, he's back. Freo is back.
There we go.
Okay. Now, what are your thoughts on Caldwell, Freo?
I am.
He was.
Well,
okay.
Literally, I'm $900 short of getting called. Well, I can get Caldwell in one trade from Zach Reed. So, but I can't quite get to Rao. So, an extra trade, get Rao, better keeper, or going Caldwell in one trade.
Okay. Well, speaking of Rail now we haven't
What do
seen
you
many
think?
questions on Rail, so let's have a look at some Rail. Because how much is Rail going for? He's about 480 or 470, something like that. I'm not sure exactly how much he is. Actually, let me check it up. Rail's priced at 485 for Matt Rail. As an owner of Matt Rail,
He's just a little bit more than.
Yeah. And as an owner of Matt Rao, I can tell you that he's the most frustrating player I've watched in my life. Okay, even more frustrating than Clayton Oliver. Okay, Matt Rao is. However, when Matt Rao is on, and that's every 2 weeks, okay, he's going to give you that 120, 125. If someone tags him or stands next to him, he gives us headaches. So. That's much, but at 485, he's a steal. I would say yes to a Matt Rao myself. If you don't have him, believe it or not, I'm recommending Matt Rao as a cheapo option. I'd say he's actually a good get at his price. What are your thoughts down below? We'll start with the Supercoach potato. Sure. If he wants to answer this one. And what do you think, Matt Rao?
His big scores this year have been pretty easy matchups. I mean, Eagles, D's when they were a bit out of form at the start of the year, North, Richmond. And then really going forward, I don't think their matchups are too soft. Play Richmond once. I think it might be a bit of a difficult run. He's averaging 105 in this extreme yo-yo. I still think Gold Coast are going to win more games. And when they win, I think he'll be a part of that and get good scores. But if he keeps going at that 105, that would be very frustrating, Oren, I think. I'd probably be going for someone cheaper with the same sort of upside, like Caldwell. I think he's great to watch because I'm biased, I guess.
Yeah. Well, what if you can get Caldwell and Rail and Tom Stewart? Because we're at a stage now where a lot of us have to get 5 players to bring in, and we sort of don't have any cash left. Okay, we're very poor right now. So if you were to get Caldwell, you're ranking Caldwell above Matt Rail right now, which I don't mind. Caldwell is a gun, and I like him a lot as well. But you got Rail ranked behind Caldwell, is what I'm hearing. So, rookie coach, what do you think about Matt Rail versus Caldwell? Who are you more aiming towards if you were to pick one of those two?
I think they're two different types of players. I think Caldwell sets more of a consistent scorer versus a Rail, who is that roller coaster type, where they can give you a 70 or they could give you a 120 plus any given week. And as you said, Abs, if someone just stands next to him, Rail's probably dropping an 80. Whereas Caldwell is probably going to be a bit more consistent. You look at the fixture isn't the greatest, but there's also something that I've liked to focus on this season is, and those that are familiar with my content, it's the second banana theory, and it's not going to the main tag targets, but going to the second or third banana in that midfield more predominantly, who's not going to cop attention. We've seen Rao cop attention already this season. So I don't mind the pick. It's really hard to dislike it at the cheap price that he is. If you don't have those roller coaster players that you can throw on your flex, I think he's a great pickup. But if you already have those spike players like a Warner and a few others, I think you might prefer to go someone like a Caldwell. You can probably bank on giving you a 90 to a 105 each week without fail.
Now, for those that don't know, I've got the screen up here. It says RookieCoach, and is that let's have a look at his subscribers now. It was 893 when I last checked. Let's do a refresh. We're at 901 now, so we're moving up. Okay, we're getting up. Now that voice that you heard, it's not Triple M, it's not Fox FM. Okay, it's actually the Rookie Coach. Okay, he's got that very sexy voice right now. So we're gonna, and if you want to always hear this voice, okay, you can wake up to this voice every morning. Click on one of his videos and you can hear the Rookie Coach talk because he's got the machine voice. Actually, Freo Tragic's back. Let's bring him back again. Freo Tragic, are you with us? Okay, we apologise about Freo. He's got the dial up, unfortunately. He's from Sydney. So what happens when you're in Sydney? The internet's a bit different than in Melbourne. So that's a problem down there.
What's going
I think he's
on?
back. What are your thoughts about what are your thoughts? Can you hear me? Okay, you're still cutting out there, young man. Okay, we're going to come back to you. Okay, we're going to cross back to you live. Now, we got Michael here. It says evening abs and team.
Yes,
okay,
I
says,
can hear.
Oh, you can hear me now.
Tell
Okay.
me about me.
A big delay.
Yeah, you're very delayed. You're like about 30 seconds behind. But just stay there, young man. Okay, just listen to it. We're still going to talk to you when your internet gets a bit better. We'll have a chat to you soon. So probably just let you just and just listen to us for a little bit until we can get your internet working properly. But
That's all right.
Okay, now
I'll watch you guys.
Okay, mate. Now let's go to just calm her down. Okay, now just calm her down here. He says here, old man Witt's coming into retirement village this week. Abs, he is. I'm gonna bring him in because it's winter coming up now. Okay, you can feel. I've got the heater on. It's cold, and in winter, what happens is ruckmen don't take marks anymore. There's no more marking, no more intercept marks. So you're gonna notice that players like Gorn and all those kind of players that rely on those intercept marks are not going to take them now. Players that rely on tackling, like Sherry, they're going to score well. But players also like Witts that rely on hit-outs to advantage, they're going to score well. And Witts doesn't take intercept marks. He doesn't tackle. He doesn't do anything except hit-outs. And his hit-outs, he doesn't miss. So I think Witts at 490K, is going to be a steal right now. And I'm going to start him at 490K this week. He's going to eventually become my R2, and I'll get rid of the Goldilocks from the team because eventually he's going to have to go because although I do like the Goldilocks, I think he's too old, and the retirement village is not happening for us. What are your thoughts, young gentlemen, on Witts?
Man, Witts is interesting. Witts is he's one of the restrictive rucks that we kind of think about that we don't want our rucks to actually play against. It's a different approach to think about what if we had him, what do we want him to do? And it's that, as you said, it's the hit outs that really pick up that scoring for him. 490, I mean, we've seen previous situations with a Briggs where they come down really cheap and you can take them at a flex and potentially move them into your R2. I think it's a fine play. I think Witts is, if we look at his past scoring, he's had an anomaly game of 54, but his floor outside of that has been 70s or 100s. There's no middle ground. It's either a 50, a 70, or plus a ton. And he has a ceiling of 144, which was against a very, very scared Flynn in round one. So I think he's a fine pick. He's going to be very consistent, maybe more consistent than maybe like a Rowan Marshall, who's a bit of a roller coaster. So yeah. I think it's a fine pick. Again, team structure wise, I think do you want consistency? Do you want a roller coaster?
Yeah, with Witts, I found that because his ruck work is so good, he has an understanding with Rowell and with Anderson, and because if your midfielders are good and your ruck is good, then your ruck will get the points for 4 points for his hit-outs to advantage. And I find that Witts also gets a lot of free kicks given to him because he's so tall and strong that the other ruckman that they virtually hit him in the head every time. So he got sort of black eyes. But 3 years ago when I had him, that was the year I came fourth. I started Witts, and I think he was same price. At 390K he was back then.
340, I think he was. Yeah.
Was it even cheaper? Yeah, he was cheap.
I think it was cheap.
And that year he was scoring 120 every single week. 380. Yeah, so I was close. I said 390. Yeah. So it was very, very good. I know we're tight ass. The 10K counts, but anyway, it was 390. But he was scoring 120s every single week for the first 12 or 13 weeks. He went to 600K. And then people jumped on him, and then he didn't score anymore because the damage was done. I think the damage is going to be done from here. I actually back him to outscore Gorn from now to the end of the season. That's a big call.
Ooh,
and
a very big call.
I'm actually backing him to outscore Gorn. So we're going to see if this happens. Okay. Now I also backed Smith to not score average above 90, and we saw how that went. Okay. So the big calls haven't worked this year, but I think Witts is going to do well. Now, let's move on to another question. Okay, now we've got here, Michael is asking Tom Stewart and Josh Dacos. Now, we already spoke about Tom Stewart. Okay, now, does anyone want to talk about Josh Dacos?
I love the pick.
He's been pretty good, hasn't he? Surprisingly.
He has.
There's so many times he's beaten Nick Dacos.
Well, the thing with Josh Dacos, I found that his disposal efficiency has actually reduced his scoring. He could actually go much higher. He could actually score, I think he's going to like 70% at times or 60%. For a half back, that's low. So he can easily score an extra 10 or 20 points and go 110s, 120s virtually every week. Only if he had more kick-ins. That's the problem for Josh Dacos. Are there better options?
That's the only problem with Dacos is that shared kick-in, which means that safe floor's not necessarily there. But again, as you said, like, because I looked at the numbers and that DE ratio or percentage, that can naturally be improved pretty easily. And if that goes up, he's probably more consistently around that 90 mark. But if he just bumps up that DE just by 5-10%, that's consistent tons that he's going to give you. And that's a perfectly, D6 sort of scoring point that you might want. He's still relatively cheap as well. Collingwood have decent run home as well. He's not going to get tagged. They love to use him to distribute the ball. Like, it ticks all the signs.
He's a big accumulator. I'd rather him than Houston, that's for sure.
Houston's very cheap, but I don't know if we're going. I don't know if he's on your list, Abs. Please tell me Houston's not there.
At the start of the year, he was. I was actually in the preseason. I think he scored a 130 off memory or something big, and I was looking at Houston. Luckily, he was. I probably would have started him actually, but luckily he was reported or suspended, so we didn't get to start him. But no, Houston definitely not. Houston to be much better than what he is now. Now let's move over to Engo, my old friend here. Engo, he says, "Hello, legends. I'm looking forward to this." Well, thank you, Engo, for joining us. And me and Engo, we chat every day. Now we have the man that doesn't like the cheese. Okay, this man doesn't like much cheese, and he says here thoughts on George Hewitt's rookie coach. This one's directed straight to RookieCoach, George Hewitt's.
Yeah, so George Hewitt has been a bit of a villain in my season so far, because at the start of the season, I had a viewer by the name of Joshua, actually in like the first stream, maybe round 1 or 2, call that George Hewitt was going to be like a top mid for this season, and we didn't believe him. We didn't want to be like, no, that's surely not. Hasn't been that type of Supercoach gold for us for a little while now. And as soon as he started pushing out 130s, 120s consistently, this man was in the chat every stream going, "When are you getting George Hewitt? When are you getting George Hewitt?" Never did it. But then I made a bet a few weeks ago or 2 months ago now that if George Hewitt went over 130, I can't remember what game it was, he'll become a background on one of my live streams I do each week. And of course, he got 130 on the dot. So bit of a fun little bet. So I think George Hewitt, in a serious note, is about to come down in price. I think he only scored a 66 on the weekend. So if you like the pick, because Carlton do have a nice run after their bye, I don't mind the George Hewitt pick once he bottoms out.
Or would you rather Sam Walsh?
Even cheaper.
But where's Sam Walsh playing right now? Which position is he playing in? I mean, George Hewitt's at least got midfield role. Where's Sam Walsh playing? I'm a bit scared of Sam Walsh. I'm going to try to get here presets. Share screen. Sorry, you all got big heads right now. Okay, so I've got all the big heads happening. I'm gonna get, where is it? Over here. Okay, share this screen here. Back on and add to screen. All right. Now I'm not here to show off my team. All right, so this is not for my team. This is going to go to players, and let's have a look at George Hewitt now. Let's go to Carlton. All right, Carlton midfield. George Hewitt. Now, what average can we give him? Let's give him 2 more scores, all right? Let's go season stats. He's going to play against Essendon, all right? Let's say he scores a 102 and against West Coast 115, all right? He drops to 519K. Now, this was a 650K player.
I'd want him before the Eagles game if I was going to get him in.
Yeah, actually, this was a 670. No, is it? No, 630, 640. Yeah, you'd want him for the Eagles game because then after that he plays North Melbourne, Port. his draw's not that bad. But would you risk? I mean, if he scores, he's got a break even of 149, and he'll have a break even 154 before he plays West Coast. I'd wait. You'd have to pay him out. You have to get him afterwards. You have to get him around 15. With Sam
He might not
Walsh,
get that low. He might do 130 and 130.
Yeah,
Very possible.
actually,
Against us,
let's
Bombers.
let's go back to George Hewitt then, right? Let's say he scores a 130 or a 125 or a 125. You're actually right. Then his break even, then you get him, and he'll be priced at a roughly. That's not a bad price. 530. What is it? 538K. Was it this one? 547.
I reckon he's due the way we're going.
Don't sound like you have a lot of confidence there.
I spoke to a Carlton friend of mine, and he said that George Hewitt is now tagging. He gets a lot of the tag rolls, the run with rolls, and Adam Chera seems to be the one that's always loose, and Patrick Cripps. And Patrick Cripps already comes back into that midfield now. He's actually cheap too, 513K. Is there any love for Patrick Cripps at 528?
Yeah, I don't mind that. I've been looking at him all year.
Very consistent. He's only had one bad game, 56 against Collingwood. He's been decent. Anyway, let's move over to some more questions now, and let's go over here. And we've got a big one. This one's for you. It says no Cowboy hat, no subs. So
lucky for Jonas, I planned ahead.
There we go.
So we're expecting. Let's have a look at the subs now. At a rookie coach. We're 901
you
before.
You look more like Tom Stewart.
I know. I can't have the headphones and the hat on at the same time though. But the hat is there, Jonas.
We're at 905 now. Do you follow poker at all? There was a poker player that looked very similar to. Actually played against him in the Australian Open back a long time ago. I forgot what they called him. He always wore a cowboy hat, and he looked exactly like him. So, anyway, and that's besides the point. So, no one's really interested in that. Now, let's move over. Another question here. With Essendon potentially selecting a ruck, how do I get out of the Goldie mess? Now, that one I think is directed at me. I think now with Goldie, is 400K.
I've got
Goldie is a placeholder. Yeah, for me, Goldie is a placeholder for now. He's playing against easy matchups, all right? Goldie's matchups, let me show you the Goldie matchups, all right? They're so easy right now. He's playing this week against no ruckman, all right? The opposition this week is Darcy Fort. The following week, he plays against Carlton. Now, he does really well against ruckmen that jump up because they don't have strength, all right? So he'll do well against Carlton. He may struggle against Geelong, all right, because Stanley is a bit different to the Connie. The Connie's not as strong. And against Freo, he should do well again against Jackson. By the time we get to round, let's say he goes, let's give him an average of 85, all right? If he goes to 85, he'll go to 420K by the time we get to his bye. Now, on his bye, we swap him. All right, that's why we bring in Witts now, because Witts, then we're going to get Witts and Goldstein to swap eventually, right? So we bring in Witts now. And then when he gets to 420K, we switch him over, and then we bring in a fallen primo like the horny man. So virtually, the grandpa's going to become horny later on, okay, in 4 weeks' time. So he's going to become horny, and that's my plan with him. Is that a good plan or a bad plan, or what do you guys think?
I rate it.
Yeah.
I think it's a good plan.
Yeah, you got a plan.
Yeah,
until things change. But yeah, they're resting everyone against him, aren't they?
Yeah, well, they feel sorry for the old man.
Yeah, I think so.
So if that's why I brought in Witts this week. If you can bring in a ruckman that's really cheap, like Witts, who's going to outscore Gawn by the end of the year, I'd start Witts, okay? Because Gawn's he's going to go nuts, and so that's my plan. Now, let's go over to another question now. We have here...
Just on that, what do you think Witts is going to average on the run home?
I think 110 plus.
110, yeah, okay. Pretty good. Yeah.
At 490K, because in winter, conditions change. I think the number one ruck's going to be Sherry still, in the run home.
Yeah.
Number 2 ruck in the run home, I think it's going to be between the stronger ruckman now that can win hitouts. Gorn is getting old. I mean, Witch is old as well, yeah? Well, Witch is not young himself, but Gorn needs those intercept marks. And if he can't get those intercept marks, he's going to still go at 110, but he's not worth 750K, whatever it costs right now. So at 490K for Witch compared to a 750K for a Gorn in the rain, I'm taking Witch every day of the week. That's why I'd go for Witch.
What can we look at another ruck option who's got a break even of 28, and he's got a very soft or easy matchup for rucks, second easiest, and he's 100,000 cheaper. Briggs.
You're interested.
I was waiting for the Briggs. I was waiting for this to come up.
What about Briggs?
Well,
he's playing Richmond. He's got a break even at 28.
What do we think of Briggs?
And then he plays
for me,
Port?
Briggs. I mean, Briggs was really good 2 years ago. I remember. All right, when he first came on the scene, 2 or 3 years ago, I actually had him in my team. We all had him in our team. He was cheap. We all got him in. He scored really well. Last year, he was really disappointing. I had mail last year. Actually, one of his ex-teammates told me because I did that start of the year where we went out to the pub and we spoke to all the players. And Tony Shaw told me back then, or was it Tony Shaw, his son, whatever his name is, he told me that Briggs split up with the missus and probably is not feeling that well and not going to have a good year. And last year, I was going to start him. I didn't start him for that reason, and he didn't have a good year. So the mail was right. But I don't know what's wrong with him this year. I mean, he's barely cracked 100 points. There's one game where he scored 28 off memory.
He scored 5, got injured, came back. It was very poor. I think he's back, though. I think he's over the injuries, but I haven't watched too closely. He's playing Richmond, 393. I mean, he's got the potential to average 110 if he gets back to his, 2 years best form. Realistically, I think he might only average 95. Is it worth it for 95 to 100? No?
It could work. It could work.
If he's going to average 95, it is worth it. Yeah, for his price, let's go have a look. All right, let's go to Abs Lab now.
And he's got the last buy.
Okay,
if
let's
it
go
fails,
to
you can trade him to anyone at probably 460K.
That's a good point as well.
It's going to get you through the buys.
Let's go to players. Okay, let's go Kieran Briggs, Ruck, GWS.
There he is, up the top.
393K, break even of 28. All right, what score are you giving him?
120.
Let's say
against Richmond.
No, against Richmond, I'd say it's at NZ Stadium, whatever this place is called.
110.
Let's give it. Let's be conservative. Say 95. All right. Now, Port Adelaide's ruckman's hard to score against. All right, so let's say
what the new one?
90.
Dante.
No, but Dante will get dropped by them. Surely Dante will get dropped. I mean, maybe they're going to play him, yeah? If it's against Dante, it's going to go nuts. All right,
well, that's what I think. Richmond,
right,
Port, yeah, okay, then Brisbane, Gold Coast, not so good.
Okay,
then
let's say he plays against Port. He goes to about 460K. The Gold Coast is a tough one for him, so 460K.
Yeah.
Let's say he went 120 against Richmond. All right, 116.
Yes.
That's 480K. So he needs a big game against Richmond to make 100K. All right, so that's the key. It's a gamble. Okay, whereas I think Witts is less of a gamble because I know Witts will go 110. I know he can do it. If you have a look at Witts scores, they're actually quite decent. Let's go to my team because he's in my team right now. Okay, Witts.
I think one thing to consider too with all these like picks that we're talking about is Witts has probably a better chance of being a keeper, whereas Briggs may not be. And you probably need to assess your trade situation and how many trades you have on. If I bring in a Briggs or a few options that we're probably going to get to shortly of a cash play, do I have the trades available to trade them out?
Yes.
When they topped out?
Yeah. Now, Wits against West Coast, all right, that's 144. Wits against Gawn, a 109. Against O'Brien, a 109. Against Sherry, who's everyone is struggling against, scored a 73. I mean, Sherry is an animal. Okay, now against Richmond, a 113. Against Sydney, a 125. What did Gawn score against Sydney? He scored a 140, 145. All right, doesn't matter. Against Brisbane Lions, there was 2 ruckmen at the time. All right, so he didn't really have much ruck time. Against the Western Bulldogs, it rained. It poured down in rain. Or was that the other way around? No, at the Gabba, I think it poured in rain that day. Because I remember, no, that was against Adelaide. No.
There was a rain day in there somewhere.
There is a rain day in here somewhere. So he scored a 77. Against Hawthorn, a 112 and a 127. Last week against Marshall, he absolutely killed him. Okay, and Marshall looked like a junior against him. It was one of the worst games I've ever seen Marshall play. That's what interested me. Anyway, let's move over. Now, James P has said here, what a crew. And he's obviously talking about the Supercoach potato. He's very excited that he's on the show. Now, we have another question here from Elia Young. And he says, how many primos are we expecting to finish with? What are we expecting, primo-wise? The word primo doesn't exist anymore, okay? We don't all have primos. A player above 400K now is a primo, okay? So how many players above 400K are we going to finish with?
I hope Bice gets there, and I'm set.
I think
hold him all the way through.
Are you going to hold Bice?
I think I have to. So
yeah, I'm going to trade him out this week. I can't hold him. Break even 85. I can't lose any more cash. Yeah, I'll have to trade a trainer as well. Break even of was it 75 or something? Something huge.
Oh, trainer's gone. Rolls up in the air. Could be forward. Could be back. Who knows?
Yeah,
could be wing. Go. I don't know. He has to go. He's done his job.
All you need this year is 22 primos. You don't need 23. If you got 22 primos, it's what we had last year.
And a rookie.
As long as you're if you're a 23rd player. Can score you 70s or 80s. That's all you need because at the end of the day, the only reason you need him is in case one of your players gets injured during the game and scores, let's say, a 5 or a 10, and then you can get that replaced with a 70. So besides that, if you've got 22 primos, that's plenty. As long as you've got cash to bring and trades to replace him in case he gets injured. But I wouldn't be too concerned about getting a 23rd. Now, let's move over now.
Just on that, I actually felt a lot better moving Elijah Hewitt into flex. So that way it looks like I've got more premiums in the team, in the structure. Sometimes you just feel, it just look way better.
Hard him into flex.
Most of the year I had Gawn, Cherry, and TDK. So it always looked like I had an extra rookie on field. It's just a great feeling swapping it around that way.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. When I see my scores, and you'll have a look at this, I'll show you my scores from last week. All right, when you see things like this, let's undo trades. All right, because I didn't do a team meeting this week. I had the flu. When you see on field, you got a trainer scoring a 28. I got Bice scoring a 68. I got Gross who scores an 8. All right, but his score doesn't count. But that means that the 28 counts. Then I got Cleary scoring a 40. The rookies are killing me, and
the Cleary 40 is better than a Simpson 0.
Yeah. Well, the Simpson 0 is the same as a Gross 8. It's the same thing. even if I switched these two around, a Boxall 27 is the same as a 0 because he comes off anyway because I can still get the 28s. But the minute these rookies come off, the team just changes. His scoring is much better.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move over now to our next question. Before we do that,
I like this question.
Was that 905 before? All right. We're up to 905 still. Haven't moved. All right. Now, we're trying to get the Rookie Coach up to 1,000 subscribers. All right. This is the aim. I've got 139 people online right now. From 139, if we can get 10 of you, please, under my description in the video that you're watching now, you'll see a little link there. Click on the link and press subscribe. And the rookie coach is actually going to sing for us later on tonight, okay? Before he leaves the show, he's going to sing for us with that voice. He's going to do a Dean Martin because he's got the Dean Martin voice, okay? So he'll do it. He'll sing that Samore for us later on, but that's until he gets to 1,000 subs. Now, let's see this question now. Bond 643K plus Stewart 423K equals 1 mil, okay? Versus two 533K primos, who wins?
I like that
Good
question.
question by Jonas. Yeah, it's a good question. The thing is, can we afford two 533K primos? Can a lot of us afford? I mean, I can't. Okay, those days are gone for me. But I think the two 533K primos win.
Depends who you're
especially
picking. I mean, Sarong,
Yeah,
535. What would you have him averaging? 110 on the run home? Capable of a
let's say
120?
110.
110?
Let's say 110 because on current form.
And
if he's
then,
got
I mean, maybe a
110,
Dacos, maybe a Clark, maybe a Chad Warner,
well, let's say
maybe a
Dacos.
Rosie.
Yeah, what's Dacos averaging? What do we expect him to?
I'd say it's a
120 for
no-brainer.
Dacos.
If you could get Sarong and
Yeah.
Dacos, then definitely that, because I think that's two huge picks.
Yeah.
Potential 125 plus each, potential.
And they potentially have the chance of rising in price as well, whereas the Bont, one more poor score, and his price, actually, let's have a look at the Bont, all right? Let's go to the Bont. How much is the
Well,
Bont
what do
going
we
to drop?
think Bont will
right?
average? I think it'll average 125, 130.
I actually got alarm bells on Bont because of the fact that I saw him play a lot of forward. I know he's played forward before, all right, but he kicked goals this week, yeah? He's not going to kick goals every week. If he plays, he's got good matchups, but hasn't he? All right, he's got Hawthorn. All right, if he plays forward against Hawthorn, the Hawthorn's defense is solid, all right? So let's say a 110 against Hawthorn, right? Because these last couple of scores have been 107, 140, 99. So he can go 110, right? If he plays forward. Against St Kilda, let's say 136. Against Richmond, let's say a 145, 140, all right? Projects. His price.
Okay.
It's not that bad. And I've given him two big scores there. I've given him a 136 and a 140. And if he, however, let's say he goes at 116, say 115, right? Everything changes. He's down at 600, under 600K. And this is a good score still, 115 plus. So if you own the Bont, you need him to go at 125s, I think. At 125s, he holds his price at 630. So he has to go 125 every week. And that's not easy to do, although for the Bont it is. But
interesting.
Yes. Now let's go over to our next question. Now we have Scott Walker here, and he says here, has Melbourne been the best team in the comp over the last 2 weeks? Actually, Melbourne's been the best team in the comp the minute I sacked Oliver, because as soon as I sacked a player, they become superstars. So Oliver has become he's virtually going to win the Brownlow the way he's going right now. The minute he left Average Magic. Now, actually, we have a question about Clary as well. Okay, now it says here, Clary, do I go full pod Pickett? What's the question on Pickett? Does anyone know much about Pickett? Let's have a look at Pickett.
No,
What's his
I haven't looked at Pickett too closely. You can't argue that he's been playing very, very well at the moment. Like, seems just to be getting, I think he gets a few CBAs a game as well. But he's just really that transition guy. He's just that transition guy for Melbourne at the moment. Who can kick those
Viney's
goals.
been out. I think since Viney's out, it's been pretty steady. I think Rivers took Viney's CBAs.
We got wet weather footy coming soon as well. Winter's coming. Do these small forwards go better in winter? I mean, how many goals did he kick last week? Wasn't it a big number of goals? I didn't watch this Melbourne game because I was too angry watching Oliver going nuts, so I turned it off, and I was too scared to look at Gawn. But how did Pickett go? Does anyone? How many goals did he kick? Let's have a look. Pickett. I didn't do my research on this one. It caught me off guard on the Pickett one. Okay, let me find it here. Pickett, how many goals did you kick? Where is it, Melbourne?
You got 5 last week.
You got 5
goals. Yeah,
or 2.
Yeah, so he's not going to kick 5 goals every week. And I'd say, I mean, if he was 400K, I'd be interested. But at 500K, it's a no, because there's a player that I want to talk about, and this is going to come left field. You probably didn't even think about this player, but this player is on my radar for 3 weeks or 4 weeks time. He's actually going to be my my swap for Goldstein. This player, and it's going to be a direct swap. and it's going to be from the Bulldogs. And Darcy, okay? Darcy, where is he? I'm trying to find him.
Oh,
Here he is.
back
Sam
from
Darcy.
injury.
All right,
Yeah.
now Sam Darcy's running now. Okay, he's up and running, and he doesn't play. I think he plays next week. Okay, he's going to play round 13. Break even at 193. Now, if you go and look at Sam Darcy,
He
he's
had an
going to-
amazing start to the year.
yeah, I mean he went nuts. He had the one poor game, which is that one. I mean, even an 87 is
injured.
decent. Yeah, he got injured in this game, and this injury is going to help us now with his,
That was
his
first quarter.
price.
Yeah.
He can drop all the way down to about four. Let's say he scores 90s. All right, let's go say 90s. And he also rucks, so he gets points there. If he goes at 2 times 90s, he's down to 420k. Sam Darcy, and this is your flex player at 420k. This is where I want to swap Goldie at 420 to a Darcy at 420. I'll just do a straight swap, and it's a good deal.
Do we think Darcy's going to put up the same numbers in wet weather footy?
Well, Darcy, that's the good thing because he plays a Marvel.
Yeah, he's got a lot of Marvel.
He's got a lot of Marvel here. So even though it's wet weather, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
You
6,
in a
7,
160 in round 20. We've got no defenders. They might be back by then, but they might be injured again.
Yeah,
so.
well,
Re-injured.
Yeah, well, actually,
Re-injured
it's 200. It's a 250 in round 20 against Essendon. All right, they're going to have a big game over here, but I think Darcy is going to be a steal at 420k, and so he's on my radar. Now I've got another player on the radar. I want to know what you guys think of this player. All right, let's get over here. How do I do? Let's go players. Players. I'm going to go to Melbourne. All right. Tell me what you think of this player. I've been Bowie. Now, Bowie, all right, he's had a decent run. 96, 97, 116, all right, 2 average games, then a 116, 132, another average game. The ball never went there, all right, then a 106, a 106, and another average game. He's capable of scoring 106s or having an average game. Now, he's going to be priced if he has, let's say he goes to these scores, 450k. Would you consider Jack Bowie in a couple of weeks after his bye? If you're poor like us, okay, because we're tight asses, all right? Would you consider 458k?
I think the conversation's probably like
the silence means no. Okay, from the Gavin's silence, I think it's a no. Okay,
I saw people.
You pay 50 more and you get a Josh Dacos. Like you pay an extra 50k, you get a Josh Dacos. I think Bowie's been great. I think you can't really go wrong. If I were to get him though, I'd be really wanting to get like a loop option with him for that D6 position.
Yeah, well, finding that 50k, I understand, but sometimes we need 2 traits to find that 50k because
His kick-ins fluctuate quite a lot. Looking at the kick-in charts as well.
You're right.
Could be 5 a game, and then it could be 0. A couple of games where he's had 0 kick-ins, so it's a bit inconsistent there. Rivers moving in the midfield could move back. Yeah,
you're right. So maybe we'll pass on him. Now, I've got a lot of marriage questions. I've got 2 back-to-back. So let's answer the marriage question first. And I don't own marriage, so I'm actually quite happy last week. First time I was able to watch him score badly. Now, what do you think of marriage and Cleary, all right, to Anderson and Clark? I can tell you I love Anderson. Absolutely. I watched him last week. He is a Jets, okay? Now, the problem is Anderson is not cheap. What is Anderson priced at? Let's have a look. My team.
560.
560. So he's not that cheap, but he's actually reasonably priced.
69 break even, ready to go nuts.
Yeah. If you don't get him this week, all right, what happens? Let's have a look. Anderson, I mean, he's very consistent.
Even when he's away.
Very, very consistent.
I feel like he's worked on that, but his ceilings aren't as high.
No, well, that's actually changed because he was actually tagged on a weekend. Scored a 113 on a tagged game. That's unbelievable. He was tagged against Sydney, still scored an 89. He was tagged in another game as well. Where's the other tag game? But these are massive scores. His ceiling was back last week. And also with Witts not performing, I found that Anderson and also Matt Rowell didn't perform that well. Now that Witts is back in form, these boys are flying, and their run home, they got the 4th easiest draw or something like that, or the 5th easiest draw going, or the 3rd easiest draw, I think it is. So they've got a really easy draw coming. If he goes at, say, 115s, which I think is very comfortable for him to do, he's not going to go much in price. 578, you're probably pretty much getting him 20K cheaper at 115s. If he goes at, say, 125s, which I don't think he will, he goes up to 600K. Because the magic number has actually dropped. So by dropping, it means that you're not getting value for your money now. So you need to average really high. That's why when you got Gorn, all right, let's get back to Gorn. Play search Gorn. When you got to play like Gorn at 730K.
Ridiculous.
The minute he starts scoring 120.
When you think he'll do a low score against Sydney, still pumps out a big one. Nearly meets up 180 break even. Just crazy.
Almost got there.
He's gonna smash St Kilda. I mean, we saw what Witts did to Marshall. At 120s, he loses nearly 100K going at 120.
So going to Briggs. Okay.
So, well, it's a good price. Now, if Gorn goes at 120, goes to 630K, and you got Witts going at 115, going up to 500 and say 20K, for extra 100K, you just get Gorn from Witts, and you save the 100K. That's later on anyway. That's something to think about. But what do we think about Maric? Okay, what's our decision with Maric? What are you gentlemen planning on doing with Maric?
I think you can do either. I think there's a case to hold him because we might look at last week as an anomaly, and they're just going to bring in replacements for Waterman. And Maric doesn't do much else other than that really simple kick and roll. He isn't fit for anywhere else on the field. So I doubt they try to throw him around and see if he can be best used elsewhere. So I don't mind holding him. However, that high break even means that he's going to bleed cash. So if you didn't see him as a keeper or you don't want him as a keeper, you probably have to move now while he's got max cash. So it's really team dependent for me on what they're doing. Maybe you're struggling for buy coverage and you, like yourself with Bice, Potato, you just kind of need to hold and hope for the best. But yeah, I personally would be holding at this point.
Yeah,
he had five kick-ins on the weekend. Duggan had 7. Gimby had 1, and Tom Cole had 1. He actually lost kicking duties like big time because there was actually 14 behind scored. He only had 5. He only had 1/3 of them.
It was a bit of a reshuffle for him.
Not to mention his clangers didn't help either. Like he still would have had a decent safety from the 5 kick-ins. He just had a bad game. Like he had clangers early in the game, so scaling wasn't his friend, and it was the Supercoach disaster essentially for a player wanting to bounce back from a shocking first quarter and whatnot.
Yeah, well, that's what normally happens when you have a bad first quarter. They don't get all these bonus points that the top tier. Like if you're the top 4 player after the first quarter, you always get these little extra 1 points every 2 or 3 minutes. I always notice those players like the bump.
Well, it's when it was close.
Points.
If the game was only close in the first quarter, I love seeing people complain about the scaling, but they're going to get the scaling in the fourth quarter from what they did in the first quarter because that's the only time that it was close. But if it's close in the fourth quarter, it's kind of irrelevant what you did in the first half. That's why it looks like that people's scoring went backwards in the third quarter or something with X amount of possessions. It's just a reallocation of the scaling. So
yeah, we're going to go to an. We're going to have a look at this question here from Jack Blucher. Now, he says here, am I crazy for thinking of going Murridge, Reed, and Cleary for Jezza? Now, let's talk about Jezza. Actually, Holmes. I'm looking at Holmes, all right? I'm looking at everyone going nuts about Holmes' scoring, but I don't see anything in Holmes. I've noticed that with Holmes, all right, every time he scores big is when he kicks goals. He's kicked a goal virtually in every game that he scored 130, 125 plus on. When he hasn't kicked a goal, it's been none of these games. So he's kicked the goals in the 125 and the 127. All these games here, he's kicked goals. In these other games, why isn't he scoring at least 95s? I mean, the 94 is acceptable, but a 76, a 70, an 80, a 72, and a 72, it is against Melbourne. It's not against like a gun. I mean, Melbourne in round
It's
4,
pretty
they
much
weren't really on fire.
same as last year as well. It's not even like he's improving. It's exactly the same pattern what he did last year.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't pick him to start.
Yeah, he's just, and I also noticed that Bailey Smith is taking a lot of his points now because Bailey Smith, he used to always run to the back line, get the cheap balls. Now Smith's doing that. So Holmes is more the link up between Smith and Holmes to the forward line. And Smith can't kick, so Smith just kicks to the forward line anyway. Doesn't get to Holmes. So I don't know. I don't know about Holmes.
What if
Holmes,
Smith misses? What if Smith is rested or managed?
Well, then Holmes will go nuts.
Mm.
And we look at these draws for Holmes. Yeah, we'll have a look at this. We've got West Coast, easy game. Gold Coast, that's an easy game for him because they don't tag. Does Essendon tag anymore?
Oh, look, I think that's a pretty easy matchup for them. I'm
mean,
dreading that game.
Caldwell has had games where he's tagged and scored well himself. So I remember Caldwell last year was always a tagger. But I'm not sure if he's going to do that this year. So it looks like more the inside bull this year, Caldwell. Brisbane won't tag. So these are easy games. Richmond won't tag. But round 18, 19, these two are tough. And round 20, that's still a tough one because North Melbourne, they may still tag then. We don't know what they're going to do, all right? So maybe it's an easy one for now. Port Adelaide, they tag. They got, what's his name?
Bergman.
Bergman is the one. Yeah, he's a tagger. They got another tag from Sydney coming. So there's a lot of tags coming. So do you get in for this run here? And then what do you do after that? After round 18, and what are you going to do with Holmes? You're playing for finals now. You're in the finals. You get here to play the finals, and your midfielder is going to score an 80 in the elimination final because that's round 21's elimination final week. Semi-final. This is the prelim final, round 23. This is where you want your team to get in the grand final, and he's playing against Sydney. So you got Holmes in the preliminary final playing against Sydney, and you're going to cop a tag. So it's a tough one. I don't know because I think the round 23 and round 24 are your most important rounds for your players, especially if you're playing for leagues because you got cash leagues there, you got whatever leagues you're playing. You want your players to have a really good matchup here, although the Holmes got a good matchup in the grand final. But anyway, that's the Holmes story. Now let's have a look at our sub tally. All right, we're at 905 before. All right. And now we're at 911. We're at 911. Okay. And now it's a danger zone, 911. Now, if you want to see the rookie coach sing like Dean Martin, okay, because he's been practicing his voice, the voice is coming out. And if you want to hear it, he's going to sing for us live on this show. Once we get another 89 more subscribers, we're going to hear his voice. So please subscribe. Now, if you do subscribe, I might even add the Supercoach potato next to him. We're going to do a chorus together, okay? And I'll dance while they're doing this. Now,
Little duet.
Now, let's move over now to Jonas, the GOAT. Again, is another question. Become greedy guts, Jonas has. Now, he says here, Raul is the most consistent player in Supercoach. Consistent, okay? Period. Now, he says average 102 over his last 56 games. Well, Raul has been decent. I do agree. When he's hot. Now, James P.S. We need Stuart to take a selfie with his head backwards, and we'd have a spitting image. Okay, no, we'll pass on that one. Now, we've got another question here. We got from HTC, and he says here, boys, thoughts on Keeler instead of Gray? Keeler. Okay, how much cost this one? Keeler.
He's played 5
130.
games, and he's at 138,000. That's a pass.
Is he still cheap?
Yeah.
But if
his highest score was 67. Nah, that's a pass.
He's got a break even of 1.
In and out. I don't know. Is there a role that's changed for him? I don't know.
I think
he played a bit more. He played predominantly back in the last game. The other ones he's been thrown forward. Like there's been role shifts. Like they haven't found a spot for him. Like there's no
Yeah.
consistency, which is what
That's
would
right.
put me off the pick. Is
He's in for
he's had
2 or
one
3
game,
weeks. Yeah.
one game in a fruitful role. Does he stay there? You don't know. It's Ross Lyon we're talking about too. We know how
Yeah.
he treats these
Yeah.
rookies.
Yeah. All right. So it's
Is
a
someone
pass
injured,
from
though?
us.
For him to be in defence? No.
St Kilda. I
Dougal
don't think so.
Howard.
Let's have a look.
Okay.
Is Dougal? Okay. Let's have a look. St Kilda
Dougal
defense
Howard, yeah.
players.
Hmm.
Well, if Dougal doesn't Caminiti play in defence too now? I thought Caminiti went back there. Defence St
Thought they've been there
Kilda.
all year.
Okay, who's missing? They got Wilkie. They got Burns. There's this Caminiti played defence last week. 65. Webster. Stocker's out. Dougal Howard's out. And well, I don't think
So
Cordy's ever
Dougal
played this
Howard's
year.
only played 3. So he's been out for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
pass. I'd pass on
Yeah.
Killer, I think. Watch him
Yeah.
turn around now and be an amazing pick at
He's going to play
138,000.
permanent
He's going to make
quarterback for the
150K in
Saints.
3
Yeah.
weeks.
It's guaranteed. Now, we've got a question here from Jackson Curtis, and he asks, not sure if you've
Ooh.
spoken about it yet. Thoughts on Kane McAuliffe? Now, we haven't spoken about him yet. I was hoping that this question wouldn't come up. I was too scared to answer this question because I don't actually know the answer to this one. And I'm a Richmond supporter. Every time the Richmond player comes on, I never pick them, and they always go nuts, and I miss them all year. This is going to be another occasion where I'm going to miss out on Kane McAuliffe. What's he priced at? Kane McCall, 280 something K, yeah?
287,
McCall.
negative 22, break even. He's been in and out on my team this week at Flex.
So you've considered him?
I've heavily considered him, yeah. So, but I don't know. It's risky. He might only make 80K. I don't know if it's worth that for me.
Okay, now who's
but-
out? We got Dow
Scores
is
are good.
out. Yeah, Dow's out. We got Lawler's out. Smiley's out, and well, he's not coming back. Presti is back. All right, so Presti comes back. Sonzi comes back. He had a massive game in the reserves.
Even
so
when Dow was playing, he was still getting good CBAs. Well, he's 3 games in and he's in the midfield. The role looks good.
Yeah, the role does
it's
look
interesting.
good. Yeah.
Let's Laylaw being out is not really impacting the CBAs. He was more half forward anyway. CBAs were quite low for the last 3 weeks. So yeah, Prestia risk is the main concern, I think.
Well, even when Prestia comes back, Prestia usually lasts 1 game, then goes out again. So I don't think Prestia is going to come back and play a lot of games. But the problem with McAuliffe is, what's he going to score? 96, 97. That's pretty impressive. 96. So he got 75. Let's say he
Pretty
needs
easy
to go.
matchups though.
Yeah. If he goes at 85, he makes 100K. All right. But he has to go to 85. Anything under is no good.
Well, Levi
if he scores,
Ashcroft isn't even averaging that.
Yeah. If he scores, say, 1 bad game, the money's all gone.
That's
It's
the
still
catch with
smart.
these sort of plays, though, is you need them to produce at a higher level, and as soon as they don't, the catch disappears.
Yeah, especially at
It's a
287K.
risky play, especially at this
Yeah.
time of the season as well. It's a pretty risky play.
Because if you want to make 100K,
too risky.
If you want to
No
make
trades.
100K, all you got to do. Let's go back to Richmond. Let's go to Gray. Where's Gray?
I'm risking Gray.
You gonna pass or you gonna get him?
No, I'm gonna get him.
You're gonna, yeah. I think it's worth
I'll
it
risk
with
it.
Gray. With Gray, if he scores, he's gonna play defense this week. It's guaranteed because there's no
If Trainer plays up forward or wing again, I feel like that's great for Gray's security with or without Bolter. So that's what I'm looking for. I don't know if you got more to add to that, but
yeah. Well, the coach has actually come out and said that because Gray's more of a tall player. All right, he's not. He's a bit different to Trainer. Trainer plays more halfback, running halfback, quarterback type player that can't kick. All right, but Gray, he's going to play as a ruckman and a forward after this week. So this week he's going to play in defense, and against Sydney he's going to play forward. So if he plays forward, he played forward in this game against Melbourne. He scored a 41. So let's give him a 45. Then he plays the Dogs, right? We're going to struggle against the Dogs, or not much action against the Dogs. Let's give him a 40. Let's be generous, all right? Maybe a 40, all right? If you do his projection, he's still going to make 100K.
Yeah,
It's
that's
this
worth the
week
risk
that
to me.
matters. Yeah, this week is the big one. He needs to score a 70 this week. If he scores, say, a 50 this week, he still makes 100K. A 50, a 45, and a 40. I'm giving really low scores, and he's made 80K. I think it's worth it because the chances are he can go one big one. All right, 74. Then he's made you well over 100K. That's why I've actually picked him this week.
Yeah,
it's easier to take a risk on Gray than it is like a McAuliffe because you're paying half the price.
And plus you save that 100K and you move that money elsewhere. You could put it to another player, like Wits. You can pick up Wits with that money. Now, Paras has asked us. Okay, now Paras is here. Thoughts on Dacos in this week? Well, I think Dacos at his price must have. I think you have to get him at 530K. What do you gentlemen think about that?
Is that foot issue, do you reckon, lingering around for him? Like we all knew pre-season, I didn't start him. It must be having an impact for him. I know he makes up excuses for other things and he's had good games, but he's a bit down, isn't he?
I think he had the pec issue. He laid that tackle and he fell heavy. And after that tackle he laid about 2 or 3 weeks ago, he got the pec issue. And after that game, he just stopped. He didn't score. That's when I got him the week before that. People paid 640K for him that week. And just last week, I saw him back to his best in the second half, but it was only his disposal efficiency letting him down again. I think he's back. I'm actually going to vice captain him this week. So I think Dacos, personally, I think he's back.
I like the Dacos trade in this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now
I'd be scared to play someone without him. If I didn't have him and you're versing someone with him, I'd always be worried. So, yeah, I think it's good to have at that price.
Now, I've got my good friend here, Fahri. Now, Fahri was the number 1 ranked team after round 6, I think it was. So we had him on the show, and Fahri, absolute legend Fahri is. And he says, loving the show, just subscribe to the Rookie Coach. So thank you, Fahri, for that. And the Rookie Coach is definitely going to sing a song for us, the Frank Sinatra or Dean Martin, something like that soon. But let's have a look at the Rookie Coach's subscribers. We're at 911. All right. Now, we're going to move from 911. We're stuck on 911. So we're not moving. If you're out there and you've not subscribed, please, under my description in the link under this video, just click on it, press subscribe, and the Rookie Coach is going to be a very happy young man. Because what it is he does videos, as we know, and every video that he does, it's for free. He doesn't get paid for it. The minute you subscribe and he gets to 1,000 subscribers, he starts getting paid. He can actually become a millionaire. Okay, the Rookie Coach, he's waiting to become a millionaire, and it's sometimes maybe $20 a video he'll get, or $15 a video. It still helps. It's something. Okay, so it's better than nothing. Okay, now let's move on now, and let's now go to Simon, and it says Freo sounds drunk. Now, I think Freo's now watching this show, and actually at the time, I didn't want to say nothing, but it's not Freo's fault because every second word was cut out. So he actually did sound drunk because the words were cut out every second time. But let's move over now to Team C, and it says very confusion on who to bring in this week. Can't have round 12 or round 16 by. Well, you can have round 16 by players. It's not a problem. If you've got 23 primos, let's say 8 of them are round 16, that means you got 15 primos that are playing, and then you can sort of sideways trade 2 of them and have 17 primos playing. So you can actually have the round 16 by players. I actually don't mind the round 16 by because it means that all your other buy rounds, they're playing every single buy round. You got them for 4 buy rounds back to back, and on their buy, you just switch them over, especially if you're going for rank. If you're going for league, just take a loss on that week. It doesn't matter. But I don't mind the round 16 buy. Now, Now, he's got a question here. Dawson, Sarong, or Heaney? Or maybe one of the Gold Coast boys. I think, for me, I think it's Anderson. Now, what do you gentlemen think?
Oh, I actually like that order. Probably Dawson, Sarong equal first, then maybe Anderson, and then Heaney.
Yeah, Dawson's a tricky one because he is a bit of a roller coaster and a bit of a butcher of the ball, but the run home is quite nice.
Yes, same. Yeah.
So I actually put Heaney above Sarong just because of Sarong and Heaney are so hard to separate. They're both prone to some tags as well. Well, I'm going to throw out a pod one here. Duke Miller, no tag threat, very consistent.
With Tuke Miller, I actually love Tuke Miller. I had him 3 years ago as my weapon, Tuke Miller, and when it was a 1% owned. The problem with Tuke Miller this year compared to 3 years ago when I had him is he's not the regular CBA man. He's got CBAs and forward time. When he had CBAs, he was going 160s. He was massive ceiling. He just lost that ceiling. But he's very consistent, and I actually love that.
Very consistent.
Yeah, he's very consistent. He just needs goals to have that spike game, really.
Yeah. Now we're going back to just calm it down, and he says here that the 2-hour time difference is affecting Freo right now, and I think he's on the money there because that's why we lost Freo. Plus he had the dial-up internet, so the tight ass channel we're on now. We're at. Scott Falker says I was 897. So thank you, Scott, for subscribing. It was 897 subscribers to your channel, and
thank you, mate.
The rookie coach really appreciates it. Now, Jonathan Miron says here, Dagos at a bargain price. I'd say so. Yes, 100%. And he's also asked, is it time to offload Maric? With the boys have said to wait a week. Okay.
I tell you what's tempting, Maric down to Moore.
Oh, I was waiting for someone to bring up Moore.
Yeah, what do you reckon? What do you reckon?
Moore's a disgusting, dirty price at the moment.
376.
He's at like 376.
Not even in form, really, but just look at last year. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just needs a
is it
patch.
worth getting? Yeah, is it worth getting more once he scores a 120? Just wait till he scores it. Because
he's not going anywhere. If you look at his, like, you could wait.
Yeah.
If you look at his scores, 94, 57, 84, 101, 36, he's done nothing. All right. If he keeps doing nothing, his price doesn't move. If he scores, once he scores, let's say he scores this week a 120, all right, against Collingwood, he goes nuts. All right. Then project his price. He goes up 17K. It's only 394K. I would grab him at 394K. But I'd want to wait until he goes nuts because he's not going nuts at the moment. Something wrong with him. Okay. And, I'd wait. I know my good friend Fahri brought him in, and he's the reason that Fahri's dropped out of the rank, out of the top 10 because of Moore. So it's a very dangerous trade, I think. And I don't like cheese. Said he was hacked. Okay. So he was hacked. Okay, he doesn't like the cheese. Now we've got here the lobster super coach. Okay, this is it says here a dead rookie Nevitt if it gets you to Rail, or Cleary if it gets you to Dacos.
I'll probably go
for Cleary to Dacos.
I go
really.
Rail.
I'm trying to keep my rookies that are playing.
I think you play. Yeah. I think that's definitely the play with this. Cleary still looks like that job security is fine. He may not have that ceiling that we've seen before. Probably doesn't seem like it's coming back. But you play the break-even game here. You get a Rail, he's going to go up. Dacos isn't going to get too far away from you because he's still got like 116 break-even.
Unless Cleary sub, I don't know. He could be sub this week.
Well, yeah. Dean Cox has come out saying that he's going to change some things around with like the team structure. If Caden's dropped, then yeah, get Dacos in for sure.
Yeah.
Dacos break even 117. I think he's going to score he's my vice captain this week, so I'm going to give him 130. All right. Against Melbourne, I think Dacos
really
130.
I'm VCing Tom Green.
I'm really bullish on Nick Dacos this week. Really bullish. And against St Kilda and Marvel, they're going to get tagged. So let's say.
That's Tom Green against Richmond. Highest score, 106. I think he's going to break a record against Richmond. for himself.
I like it.
Tom Green. Well, who's the problem with Tom Green is he's good, but he can't kick. He handballs, it goes nowhere. But they got no midfielders. He's the only one now, so I think you're right. I think he's going to go nuts. But I noticed against Richmond, not a lot of teams have gone over 130 against Richmond. I
think it's all spread out. I think everyone will get to 100, but it's hard to get that high ceiling as well.
Yeah, there isn't that one person that's going absolutely nuts. We saw Zach Merritt do it last week. It's usually those loose players like Merritt that get it. But anyway, let's keep moving on now. Now we got we've talked about Tom Stewart. We talked about let's go over here. Check it out. Essendon 99K ring ruckman got named. What? Is that true?
I haven't even seen that. Okay.
Is that from the mid-season draft?
Yeah. Let's have a look. Okay. This is interesting. This is breaking news for everyone. Now let's go.
That means you're gonna have to trade Goldie.
This is bad news. Okay. Is Goldie playing? Zach Johnson, Archie Weeks, and Elias Satsis. Who's Zach Johnson?
I think it's his debut. I think he's
a defender, I believe.
Yeah, I think he's a defender.
Yeah, so that's not. Yeah, that's different. So it's not the ruckman; it's a defender.
Yeah, or maybe it says like drafted, not named.
For 99K.
Yeah. Vigo Vicentini is the emergency. Dylan Shield and Jai Menzies, they're the emergencies. Okay, so that's almost off the chair right now. I'm gonna have a heart attack. But let's go. Let's go back to Rookie Coach. You're gonna see now what we're up to because we're gonna end the stream very soon as well because Rookie Coach is gonna move over to another channel now and he's gonna go live.
Popular man.
He's a very popular man. He's at 917. So we want to thank everyone or thank you all for helping the Rookie Coach get to 917. We're nearly there, and unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do it on this podcast. So we're going to have to rely on the horse. So you have to go to Horse's channel soon, and hopefully the horse can help you get to that mark. Now, do you have any other players you want to add into the podcast?
I've seen some people asking about Ash. I've seen some people asking about Lockie Ash. I think it's a great option. He's been rated the highest champion data player or whatever that statistic was, but it's backed up with his scores as well. Whitfield potentially moving forward. What's that all about last week?
Scary.
I really like the Ash. Yeah. And there's a good matchup as well next couple of weeks, I think. So I'd love to get Ash in.
550 Ks and he's about 550.
Yeah, so you're paying top dollar for him.
Yeah, he's got a magic draw this week, right? He's got Richmond. I'm showing you what Whitfield, but it's still the same draw for Ash. Brisbane Lions, Port Adelaide, Gold Coast.
Then you got West Coast, Essendon, North.
I'd say you're right about him being his top 6 guaranteed. It's a matter of they're cheaper. Like Wangan Miller is 515 or 500. I'm not sure how much he is, but he's a lot cheaper. He takes kick-ins as well. He's decent too, and his price is dropping because he had a bad one the week before. Sometimes you know that 30. Sometimes you're missing the 2K. You want to get your 2K short of getting a player in. When you pay 550. There's going to be a lot of times next week when you want to get a player in, you can't afford them because you're 10 or 20K short. That's the only thing. Now, is there any players that you're looking at under 500K that you think that we've missed? Is there anyone that you can think of?
There's a rookie I'm watching for next week, Pedler, 150,000. Yeah, he got 79. There was a lot of talk for him pre-season. I know we've got a bit of a rookie crisis and everything. He'll be on the bubble next week, so he could be a good option.
Okay, that's good.
The only concern is it gets West Coast. I want real
that's why I want to wait a week to see. Yeah. It'll be a good test against Sydney, and he did play forward and wide a bit as well. So,
I actually thought he played before this week. That was his first game. I didn't realize.
Yeah, first game. Yep. So he's got a negative break even, but yeah, if he has a good game, again, you want that second game with a good score, right? So he's a big watch for me.
Well, if he against Sydney scores 70
60.
again,
70.
all right,
All
let's
right.
go 60.
Go 60. Go 60.
All right, 60. Let's say against the Lions scores a 49. All right, let's see what he does. All right, he gets to
Not great. Okay. Yeah.
it's about 60K. I don't think it's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think you're better off to get the 99K rookies that get that use that 50K elsewhere. And since the Essendon's already named that player, we've got two players from. We've got.
That's
two
why I'm
players from
waiting this
Essendon.
week. I'm not going to go early on people that are. Yeah, I'll just go for Gray. I'm probably just going to do the one trade this week because a lot's going to change the next 2 weeks. I think we're going to get a lot of.
Yeah,
options.
I might not even get Gray now because I'm going to make 100K from Gray. I know, and that's probably handy. Actually, I'll probably go get the 100K. Yeah, I'll get the 100K. I'll take it. Okay.
Talked himself.
By the time he
into
makes his 100, then you can go down.
Yeah, you go to the next one. Yeah, I think I
season.
need that 100K. Yeah.
We all need the 100K. We'll take 80K at this point, I think.
We got Bernie here who's donated the $5. So thank you, Bernie, very much. The young man has donated the coffee. Now, who's going to? Well, we've got the rookie's already drinking something, so he doesn't need a coffee. I think we'll donate this coffee to the Supercoach Potato. And he says thoughts on Lockie Ash. We just discussed him, and it's one of Supercoach Potato's favorites, I think. So
I think it'll be
that's
top,
a good
top
shout
defender.
out there.
I really like it. Yeah.
Yeah, and Jonas Scott thinks that Gordon's going to destroy the Ron Marshmallow this week. I think you're right. I think this week I'm scared for the Marshmallow owners. He's going to. It's a funny thing, you know. 1 week he scores a 170, everyone gets excited. Then the following week he backs it up with a 60 or a 55 and a 60 probably this week. So it's very unlucky. Now the Supercoach Pro says that Briggs almost getting dropped the way he plays. So he's not a big fan of
Okay.
Now we've got Robbo here. Is it worth holding TDK till after Gorn? Yeah, I think it is. I think I'm actually considering bringing TDK in.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
My concern with TDK was Pitternet, and they dropped Pitternet, so that gave me the answer. So I might consider him as a third ruckman. Now let's go to any more new questions. I think that's pretty much sums up all our questions. We're going to end this. We're going to end the stream here. I want to thank everyone for joining in and tuning into the channel, and also want to thank the two legends that are on the channel. Freo, we want to thank him. He tried his hardest. Okay, he tried his hardest to come on the show. I actually feel bad because he was so excited, and I was actually really excited to hear from him. And the excitement levels that he was at were actually unprecedented. How excited he was until we couldn't hear what he said. We heard nothing. So the internet connection didn't work out because being the tight ass show this week, he couldn't afford the internet. Okay, so he had to dial up. So thank you for joining, everyone. And please, before we do go, my last request is please subscribe to. Actually, let me get it up here. Okay, let's do this. Let's show it to you so you don't forget what it looks like. Let's remove this at stage. Where is it? Share screen. Stop screen. Okay, I can't even do it now. Hang on. Presets. Share screen. Where is it? Where's the rookie coach? We're going to add the rookie share. Okay. Now, this is very confusing for me right now. Okay, now and at the stage. All right, here it is. So please subscribe to the Rookie Coach. Okay, he needs that 1,000 subscribers to become a millionaire. Now he's only got 917, and let's see how much he's got now. Let's refresh this, and we're at 918. So we've got the one extra subscriber. So I appreciate that one extra subscriber that subscribed, and thank you for joining. And remember one thing: it's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. Ciao for now.